Now,
There's no intro.
you're live.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, right.
Hi, I'm Jameer.
I am Wilson, and you're watching the Betty Shabazz International Charter School Podcast, training number 5.
Today's show is dedicated to the former CEO of Higher Learning Network, Mrs. Deborah Smith. Also,
Happy birthday, Mrs. Deborah Smith. Today we'll be interviewing Betty Shabazz math teacher, Baba Jared. Baba Jared, how long have you been teaching math?
First off, I want to say hello. Really happy to be on the program. I have been teaching math now since 2021. So for my students, how many years is that?
You said 2021 or
Yep.
2021?
So that's
3 years?
This is my 3rd year, correct.
What made you decide to be a math teacher?
So actually, my trajectory or how I chose my career is a little interesting. It's not usually how you go to school and become a teacher based on what you major in. I actually majored in law and politics, and I was really geared up to either go into politics or start law school. But I decided to take a break between law school and college and teach in China. It was my first time teaching, and I started that in 2017. And so I got to China, and I just really fell in love with education and disseminating knowledge and being able to help form the minds of the people who are coming next, and that's you guys. So the reason why I chose math, or the reason why I chose to be a teacher, was just because my experience in China was really positive, and now it's something that means a lot to me.
That's nice. How did you like it in China? How was the environment in China?
The environment was a lot different, but not as different as you'd think. One of the things that struck me originally was there are 1.5 billion people in China. So the city that I was living in was called Chongqing. Chongqing has 35 million people in it. Now, if you know anything about Chicago, Chicago has 6 million people in it, but only 3 million in the city proper. Whereas where I was 35 million people total and 15 million people in the city proper. So just the magnitude of how many people there were was something that really took me aback. But yeah, I really love China. The education system is a little different, but I think that both the American system and the Chinese system has its pluses and minuses.
Very intriguing.
Guys, it looks like we have a caller.
I have another question for you, Baba Jared. You just told me you have a caller. Bring the caller up. Press 1 to join. Give out the phone number.
Calls 563-999-3035 and press 1 to speak with the podcast.
Okay, and the question I was asking was, why did you choose to teach at Betty Shabazz Academy?
The caller's on the line.
So no problem.
Hello, who are you and where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Daniel Vincent, and I'm calling from Betty Shabazz International Charter School. And I just wondered which grade you teach, 6th or 8th?
Baba Jared, they are wondering if you what classes do you teach from 6th through 8th?
All right. So yeah, you got it right. I am the middle school teacher, and the classes that I teach are 6th grade math and 8th grade math.
So how is it like? How was your 8th grade and 6th grade class?
I think both classes have some students who are truly amazing in a lot of different ways. And not just some of the students, but all the students have their pluses. And I think that all of my students are capable of attaining great things, not only at Betty Shabazz, but when they leave this building as well.
What are your inspirations or what inspired you to teach?
So my inspiration for teaching was just some of the educators that I had in my life. Being able to grow and become the person that I am was due to the people who decided to teach me what I know. And so I wanted to do the same thing for the students that are coming after me.
Okay, what were your biggest challenges of teaching math and teaching at Betty Shabazz?
Well, one of the greatest challenges of teaching math is that math is not necessarily a subject that most students are crazy about. Sometimes when I talk about math and talk about certain parts of math, students look like, I scared them. Like I said, something that was terrifying. But when I am able to make math fun and interesting, that's when I see that the students respond the most. So, greatest challenge is just making math fun. And then after that, my greatest challenge at teaching at Betty Shabazz is, well, Betty Shabazz is a very wonderful school that has a very deep cultural significance. And the schools that I taught at before Betty Shabazz were predominantly or PWIs. Do you guys know what PWI means?
No, but I would like to know.
Same.
A PWI is a predominantly white institution. And there's nothing wrong with a PWI, but it's just very different from teaching at a school that is 100% of the student population is African American. And so that was probably the biggest difference between what I've done in the past and what I've done now.
Baba Jared, what is your greatest desire now or in the future as a math teacher and in your life?
Can you say that one more time?
What are your greatest desires as a math teacher or in your future life?
My greatest desire as a math teacher is to be able to communicate math to all of my students and make it accessible, make it something that they can take with them throughout their life and really understand what's going on there, because math is life. A lot of the things that we see, even from the stoplights to all the products that we use, the chairs that you guys are currently sitting in, it took some math to put those together. So if my students are able to know how to do math, then they have access to all these different careers and all these different creations, and it really gives them the passport to the future.
We have a caller. For anyone that also wants to speak with us again, our number is 563-999-3035. And if you want to talk with us, press 1.
Press 1 to speak.
Who are you and where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Daniel, and I'm calling from Betty Shabazz Intl School. The question I would like to ask Mama Jared is, how is his experience teaching in China?
Repeat that one more time, please.
I would like to ask Mama Jared, how is his experience in teaching in China?
Oh, he had said, how was your how did you teach in China?
So funny enough, as Americans, we're not really used to learning different languages on a grand scale. Like you might take a Spanish class, you might take some other foreign language, but it's not an integral part of what you're doing. But in China, they have to take English. So all of my students that I taught at the college, all of these students have learned English their whole life. and they knew how to write, and they knew how to read. But they needed some help with their spoken English. And so they could always understand what I was saying, but being able to communicate back with me could be a challenge for some of the students. So I was able to teach in English, even though I did learn Chinese. The classroom setting was always in full English. And so that made it a lot easier for me to teach the students in China. And yeah, I had a really, really good time. It was a very eye-opening period of my life, 3 years.
Hey, Papa Jared, what do you do to the children that misbehaves inside of your class?
So in China, when the kids misbehaved, all I had to do was say, "Hey, I'm gonna tell the dean, or you're gonna get a bad grade," and then they would go, and they would stop immediately, and there'd be no more misbehaving. But in my current classes, I have to be a little bit more stern. I have to put in a little bit more effort to make sure that my students don't misbehave. But that doesn't mean that my students in China were better than my students at Betty Shabazz, because my students at Betty Shabazz are brilliant. But I just have to put in a little bit more work.
Baba Turner, we've been asking you all about your math and like you in China. Let's get deeper into your experience. What do you do outside of school that you love?
So I actually have a business where I tutor kids. So as soon as I'm done teaching at Buddy Shabazz, I then have to drive to the western suburbs where I live, and I go and I tutor high school and some eighth grade students, because my specialty is standardized tests. Can you guys name a different standardized test?
A different standardized
A
test?
standardized test, any standardized test. Do you know what I mean when I say standardized test?
As,
What about like like an IAR test like that?
No, like iReady. You guys take the iReady
Like
examination.
diagnostics?
Yeah, that's a diagnostic. Yep, standardized test. So the ACT is what you take to get into college. So I prepare students to take the ACT, SAT, and then the HSPT. Wilson, I know that you're in eighth grade. You might be taking the HSPT in December, depending on what kind of school you want to go to. Eighth graders take the HSPT to get into high school.
We have a caller.
Press 1 to speak.
If you want to call with us again, 563-999-3035. What is your name? Who are you and where are you calling from?
30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds.
What's your question?
What is your question for the Betty Shabazz podcast and Baba Jared?
Wrap up. Thank you so much for coming.
Tune in next week at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time to see session 6. Thank you, Baba Jared. I'm Jameer.
I'm Wilson, and thank you for watching the Betty Shabazz International Podcast Training number 5
On the High Learning Network. Bye, guys.